Right now, a new homicide investigation in Rock County, what Beloit authorities are looking into. Plus, why the Trump administration seized an oil tanker off the coast of Venezuela. This is News 3 Now at noon. Thanks for joining us. I'm Josh Breiter. Right now, Beloit police say no arrests have been made yet in a homicide. Officers responded to Colony Court near Memorial Hospital around 5:30 last night. Police say they found a woman who had been shot. First responders took her to the hospital where she later died. The incident remains under investigation. If you have any information, call Beloit Police or submit a tip to the Greater Beloit Area Crime Stoppers. Overnight, Madison police responded to multiple reports of shots fired on Regent Street. Just before 10 last night, officers were called to the area across from Meriter Hospital near Budget Bicycle Center. Police found multiple shell casings at the scene. No injuries were reported and officers didn't find any property damage. The 32-year-old Milwaukee woman accused of shooting and killing a woman native to DeForest is heading to trial. Jamaica Mills is charged with first-degree reckless homicide with the use of a dangerous weapon modifier. During Mills' preliminary hearing Wednesday, a Milwaukee County court found probable cause. She is scheduled for an arraignment on January 9th. Mills is accused of shooting and killing 26-year-old Ariel Spillner on November 4th. Police say they were called to an apartment where both Mills and Spillner lived. Prosecutors say Spillner had a gunshot wound to her left shoulder and was face down on the couch. She was pronounced dead at the scene. Mills had a gunshot wound to her abdomen. A criminal complaint alleges the two were smoking marijuana when Mills became paranoid from smoking and thought Spillner was planning to stab her. The complaint alleges Mills walked to her bedroom and took the firearm, shooting Spillner one time. Mills then shot herself accidentally. Mills allegedly told police she did not mean to kill Spillner, but understood firearms can kill people. McFarland is promoting their interim police chief to the permanent position. Brian Redman is a retired lieutenant from McFarland Police who served from 2006 to 2020, leading an interim chief in 2010 and once again from late 2020 until his retirement in spring of 2021. He suspended his retirement in October of last year, and the McFarland Police and Fire Commission voted to promote Redman. According to his police certification, that was reinstated at the Wisconsin Law Enforcement Standards Board meeting on December 2nd. Jury selection begins in the high-stakes federal trial of Milwaukee judge Hannah Dugan. She's charged with helping an undocumented man escape ICE agents. In April, an undocumented man was scheduled to appear in Judge Hannah Dugan's courtroom. When she found out ICE agents were outside, she confronted them and directed them to talk to the chief judge. Investigators say she was then directing the man out of her courtroom. FBI agents arrested her a week later. Jury selection for Judge Dugan's trial are happening today and tomorrow. That trial starts Monday. Let's get a first check of your first warn forecast. Here's meteorologist Savannah Brito. Hi, Savannah.
Hi, Josh. Thank you. We hold under a lot of cloud cover right now. Not going to see much sunshine, and unfortunately, that's the pattern we're going to continue to see the next several days. We also have a chance of light snow showers. I think for the most part, this next system, it is a quick clipper system northwest of us, is going to pretty much set up and stay southwest of here. It is leading to some snow already on radar this afternoon. That's south of Waterloo. And you see a lot of pink on radar too. That's some freezing rain that we're dealing with, not here, but kind of out just to our southwest. That is going to continue moving to the southeast and eventually could see some light snow out of this system. We'll show that coming up a little later, Josh.
All right, Savannah, thank you. Noon, another Democrat is announcing their candidacy for Wisconsin governor. There we go. Joel Brennan was a former top official in Governor Evers' administration. He is now the president of the Greater Milwaukee Committee. Talking with the AP, Brennan says he would be a governor who both fights President Trump's chaos and dysfunction and works across the aisle with Republicans in the state. He joins a crowded field on the Democratic side, but says he can differentiate himself with his 25 years of experience in the private sector and also as Evers' top aide for the first 3 years of his administration. Reaction is pouring in after President Trump announced the seizure of a Venezuelan oil tanker off the country's coast. It is the latest step in a pressure campaign on Venezuela's president and signals an effort to go after one of the nation's largest revenue sources. Here's Natalie Brand.
The Trump administration released dramatic video of members of an elite U.S. Coast Guard unit rappelling from a helicopter to board and seize an oil tanker just after it left a Venezuelan port Wednesday.
It was seized for a very good reason.
The Justice Department alleged the tanker was used to transport sanctioned oil from Venezuela and Iran, saying for years it's been sanctioned due to involvement in an illicit oil shipping network supporting foreign terrorist organizations.
What happens to the oil on this ship?
Well, we keep it, I guess.
This seizure marks an escalation in a pressure campaign against Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro's regime. Tensions remain heightened over the U.S. military buildup off the coast of Venezuela and more than 20 strikes on alleged drug boats.
Regime change, even though Maduro's a bad guy, I'd like to see him go. But us trying to force it is never been successful U.S. policy.
The Trump administration, which has accused Maduro of narco-terrorism, does not view his leadership as legitimate, and President Trump has said he believes Maduro's days as president are numbered.
We are not involved at all.
Venezuela's opposition leader, Maria Corina Machado, spoke in Norway one day after a ceremony to award her the Nobel Peace Prize.
I believe that President Trump's actions have been decisive to reach the point where we are right now, in which the regime is weaker than ever.
Venezuela's government, in a statement, called the oil tanker seizure a, quote, shameless robbery, accusing the U.S. of trying to go after its oil. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
So far, at least one Republican, Kentucky Senator Rand Paul, has reportedly condemned the seizure of the oil tanker, calling it an initiation of war. Affordable health care is on today's agenda in the U.S. Senate. Majority Leader John Thune announced the chamber will vote on a Republican alternative to the Affordable Care Act's enhanced tax credits. But Democrats quickly dismissed the GOP plan. They want a 3-year extension to the existing subsidies set to expire at the end of the month. The GOP bill expands health savings accounts to help people pay for some ACA plans, but it does not extend the subsidies. Without congressional action, millions of Americans will see their health care premiums skyrocket. Coming up next on News 3 Now at noon, how much the Federal Reserve is cutting interest rates by, plus why a specific kind of nasal spray is facing a recall.
The Federal Reserve has cut its benchmark interest rate by 1/4 percentage point, bringing it to the lowest level in more than 3 years. The central bank has also signaled it could just issue one rate cut next year, though Fed officials say they will make the decision based on further economic data. There's a nationwide recall of one lot of Reboost nasal spray. The FDA says the product contains mold and yeast, as well as a microbial contamination. No adverse effects have been reported so far, though the agency says there's a reasonable risk that the product could cause immunocompromised people to develop life-threatening infections. People are urged to stop using the nasal spray and contact the place of purchase for a refund.
Merry Christmas!
And this holiday season, St. Nick is on speed dial. Okay, not quite, but people around the world can request a personal message of cheer from Santa Claus himself on Cameo at a discounted rate of just $20, according to the website, for a limited time. That's your CBS News Money Watch report. For more, log on to cbsmoneywatch.com. At the CBS Broadcast Center, I'm Jesse Mitchell.
Here's a look at the stock report at the noon hour. The Dow is up 627 points, but NASDAQ is down 131, and the S&P 500 is down just over 0.5 point. Pam has today's farm numbers up next, and Savannah's tracking the first warn forecast. Then later on Live at 4, with the midterm elections just under a year away, candidates are throwing their hats into the ring. We're talking with Lisa Gennaro, the candidate for Middleton mayor. Welcome back. Let's check in now with Pam Yankee for the Midwest Farm Report. Hi, Pam.
Hey, Josh. Yeah, today we're talking about something that's been in the news. I don't usually talk about products, but this one's important for consumers to know about as well. You've probably heard in the news the phrase New World Screwworm. It's a parasite that if it gets into our cattle, it'll actually ultimately kill them. That's part of the reason why Mexican cattle have not been allowed into the United States. They have New World screwworm there. Now a new product out from Merck Animal Science has been allowed by the Food and Drug Administration a conditional approval for the prevention and treatment of New World screwworm. The reason I bring this up is it's kind of new that the Food and Drug Administration has allowed Merck Animal Health to use research from other countries to kind of fast track this product. It's obviously a sign that they're concerned about the beef supply coming into the United States, protecting our own cattle numbers, and making sure that consumers may see a little relief if we can get this in place when it comes to beef prices at the grocery store. So again, like I said, I don't normally talk about product, but this one's kind of going in a direction that we didn't expect. So if you hear about it, now we know that we've got one more tool to try to battle New World screwworm. A new face at the Michael Fields Agriculture Institute down in East Troy. They're welcoming Dr. Success Okafor for a year's fellowship where he'll be focusing in on economic and analytical insights to take a look at policy proposals that advance regenerative agriculture. We're hearing more and more about regenerative agriculture, and one of his first projects is going to be publishing a comprehensive literature review on the benefits of regenerative agriculture. Dr. Success Okafor, a one-year fellow at the Michael Fields Agriculture Institute in East Troy. Talking about regenerative agriculture, that's part of the conversation in a new work group that's been established involving Wisconsin DNR, Wisconsin Department of Ag, Wisconsin Land and Water Conservation, and our Natural Resources Conservation with UW Extension. Interagency Water Quality Work Group. It's all about trying to make sure we're not wasting any nutrients, of course, going into calendar year 2026 with tight margins. That's going to be incredibly important. And just another quick reminder, last call, if you want to go along with me to London and Wales coming up March of next year. Just a few seats remaining. We need to button this up before Christmas. So if you're thinking about something for mom and dad and you want to all jump in, or maybe mom and dad just finally clear their brains after the harvest, please make sure that you're contacting Holiday Vacations. Tell them you want to go along with the farm, babe, and we'll make sure that we've got a seat for you. Markets today. What can I say? We continue to keep an eye on dairy. Talked to a dairy analyst this morning. It's not just the United States that's up on milk production. European Union and even the Oceania, for example, New Zealand up on milk production. Barrel cheese unchanged again today. 40-pound block cheese down a quarter at $134.50. Double A butter up a quarter at $148 a pound. And speaking of dairy, on my way over to the Marriott West, Joshy, Dairy Insights. They're going to tell us how the food industry is viewing what's going on in dairy and the Make America Healthy Again movement and how that could change what things look like at the grocery store next year. So I'll tell you more about that tomorrow.
Well, good thing that's indoors because it's mighty chilly outside today and we haven't even seen the thick of it yet.
For sure.
All right, Pam, have a good afternoon. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Well, when Blaze is away, Savannah will play, and it's Thursday. We've got our furry friend of the week, and who do we have here, Savannah?
Look, it's slam poetry.
Oh, so cute.
He was showing his face, now he's like over my shoulder a little bit.
He's a little nervous.
I got big shoes to fill with Blaze. We're going to talk a little bit softer today, just because, yeah, I don't want our friend to get scared. But look how cute. He's up for adoption. So, yeah, you'll want to bring yourself and the pets inside because it is really, really cold, and we're only going to get colder. So we're at 21 right now in Madison. Not too bad, but we are going to see an even chillier forecast once we head into this weekend. He's getting his cuddles in right now because he knows how cold it's going to get. So when you factor in the wind chill, it does feel a little bit cooler outside across a little bit of the area, but not terrible. We do have a lot of clouds though. I have a little bit more hair than Blaze. I feel like he's getting caught in my hair. You cozy? Yeah. So a lot of cloud cover out there, but we're going to see temperatures dip through the next couple of hours. Still pretty steady through the lunchtime hour, but then once we get to the evening, we are going to see temperatures fall a little bit more. Kind of like what slam poetry is doing. There we go. Get y'all comfy. You better? Yeah. So we'll see temperatures dip back into the teens, probably around 12 degrees only heading into that midnight hour, and temperatures are only going to fall from there on out, even into the weekend. So here's our next system. All of that snow, see? You scared of the snow? I'm scared of the snow. Waterloo's getting that right now. I think for the most part, that system is going to stay to our south. We're not really going to get much snow out of it. It's possible that Prairie du Chien and areas like Platteville get a little bit of that, but for the most part, I think this system is going to stay to our west and to our south. Central Illinois, south of even the Chicagoland area, kind of getting that winter weather advisory. That's the purple that we have. That's also in place for parts of eastern Iowa. This is what we've got as far as one of our future track models, showing some of that snow getting into areas like Platteville, Mineral Point, and Prairie du Chien. But I don't think that's really going to reach Madison. The chances of seeing that light snow probably to our southwest, and we're only looking at maybe about a dusting here if we do see any of that snow at all. So yeah, we've got the cool down to come after that, and that's going to be the big story. So just a dusting of snow possible. I think Platteville, Prairie du Chien may see that 1 to 3 inches, but 3+ inches for areas southwest of Platteville. And then we've got the alert days in the forecast as we head into Saturday and Sunday because of that bitter cold. -9, that's what we're going to see as the actual air temperature as we get into Saturday night and Sunday morning. So I think that's going to be the big story on everyone's mind, and everyone's probably going to want to stay indoors just because of how cold the temperatures are going to get. So Josh, yeah, we and all of our pets definitely want to stay inside.
Yeah, we're going to want a cuddle buddy just like Slam Poetry.
Know. He's probably scared of all the cold weather that's coming.
That entire weathercast, I could hear the purring on the microphone.
Really?
We might have a new animal whisperer.
I
Look
know.
out, Blaze.
I don't think so. He's got it for sure. But
nice job, Savannah, and Slam Poetry, thank you. We'll learn a little bit more about him coming up in just a little bit. Well, one Boston senior's hard work is paying off after receiving nearly $400,000 to go to college. In high school, Espen Pitts has stayed busy as the captain of the wrestling team, football team, being on the student council, and starting his own business. In the fall, he'll be heading to Notre Dame thanks to a full ride scholarship from Questbridge. He was one of 25,000 in the nation to apply to the nonprofit's College Match program. He is one of 2,500 high-achieving seniors from low-income backgrounds to be matched with the school.
A lot of emotions, and it was just very, very awesome and exciting.
He joked that you don't have a wrestling team at Notre Dame, and he says, well, I'm going to start one, and that's Espen.
Espen plans to study business administration with a concentration in accounting, but for now he's focused on state wrestling this weekend. After the break on News 3 Now at noon, we're going to introduce you more about our Pet of the Week from the Dane County Humane Society. Stay with us.